Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to LegalSpeak, a Cold North production. I'm the Law Morris, and this is the video essay series where I get to talk about the games I've been playing and what I think of the medium as a whole. You can find everything we do, including both of our podcasts, all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. Please go check that out. Now, I've been trying to make things a bit shorter, but whenever I sit down to write it, it just keeps pouring out of me like I'm lactose intolerant, and I've just woken up at 3 a.m. after taco night, so please just bear with me. I really am working on it. Anyway, this week I'm crazy excited to share my wild theory about the next generation of Xbox, so let's get right to it. So everyone makes E3 predictions videos, and who can blame them? They're all really fun. I'll have a whole load of predictions on our podcast HardReset right before the actual conference, but today I'm going to go into a bit more detail about my biggest and boldest E3 prediction, not only of this year, but my biggest one ever. I couldn't wait to get this out there, so here it is. The next generation of Xbox, that is codenamed Scarlett, will be released later this year, and Microsoft is going to tell us all about it at their E3 conference. Now, before I start connecting red string and chasing my own Pepe Sylvia, I need you to make one small leap just so we can all get rolling on the same page. I need us all to agree that Halo Infinite will almost certainly be a launch title for the Scarlett. Now that we've all done that, with the exceptions of Halos 2 and 5, both of which there are reasonable explanations for, Halo games show up at 2 E3s. They're announced via a teaser, then gameplay is shown off the next year, and they come out about 3 to 6 months after their second E3. Halo 2 got its teaser in 2002 because Microsoft needed to keep the momentum going on their new console. And Halo 5 was eventually released in 2015, but it was announced in 2013 as a show of good faith that Microsoft's flagship series would definitely be coming to the yet-to-be-released Xbox One. But aside from those two, the pattern is solid. Halo 3 was revealed in E3 2006, reappeared in 2007, and in September of 2007 it was eventually released. Halo Reach, announced in 2009, reappeared in 2010, released in September 2010. Halo 4, announced in 2011, reappeared in 2012, released in November of 2012. Halo Infinite was announced at E3 2018, and has been confirmed to be present on the Microsoft stage at E3 this year. So if the pattern holds, that points to a fall 2019 release. And that's not the only pattern that supports the idea. For almost 20 years, the industry has been comprised of 3 major players: Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. And for almost 20 years, whenever a new console generation comes along, one of the big 3 launches a year ahead of the other 2. Sony released the PS2 in 2000, Microsoft and Nintendo followed in 2001. Microsoft launched the Xbox 360 in 2005, Sony and Nintendo followed in 2006. Nintendo pooped out the Wii U in 2012, Sony and Microsoft launched a year later in 2013. After the Wired article, and hearing some of the headlining features of the PlayStation 5, media and fans alike are all starting to feel like a fall 2020 release window is imminent. The Switch is kind of an enigma, and we know Nintendo won't or wouldn't even want to have a successor ready in 2020, much less 2019. So Nintendo is out. So who's left to fill that year-early spot that will presumably be fall 2019? Microsoft. And with the current state of the market, why wouldn't Microsoft want to be the first to pop the champagne on their new console? The Xbox One era has been a rough 6 years for the Xbox brand, stumbling before the race even began and never really being able to recover. Every time a new console generation starts, the industry hits a gigantic reset button and everything's wiped clean. Everyone starts back at square one, and they have to fight for the same customers they already had all over again. Since the introduction of the Xbox One X, Microsoft has been able to not entirely stop, but significantly slow the bleeding, and over the past few years, especially since the introduction of the half-step consoles, the tide has slowly been turning in Microsoft's favor. I think that Sony is announcing backwards compatibility for the PS5 in response to this turning of the tide, Sony is trying to carry over the investment that the consumers have in the PS4 ecosystem into the PS5 to keep some of those customers. Late last year, Sony officially announced that they would not be making an appearance at E3 2019. Microsoft then quickly announced that they definitely would be at E3 2019. And ever since then, both Phil Spencer and the Xbox PR team have not been shy about hyping up the show, implying that they've been given an opportunity, and they're not going to let it go to waste. So if Microsoft is bringing the big guns to E3, then what bigger gun to bring than the first of the next generation of consoles? If Phil Spencer were to take the stage and show us Cyberpunk 2077, Gears 5, Forza 12, or whichever one they're on now, Playground's Fable game, a look at whatever the initiative has been working on, and lay out the roadmap for the next year or two of Xbox, then close the show with Halo Infinite and a November release date for the Scarlett, it would easily go down as one of the most significant moments in E3 history. Microsoft put their foot in their mouth hard with the Xbox One announcement, and every time they said TV or sports, they just forced that foot in deeper. With a November 2019 release date and a $4.99 price tag, not only would Microsoft not have a foot in their mouth, they will have taken that foot out and planted it firmly up Sony's ass. So anything could happen at E3, and as it stands, it looks like Microsoft has the potential to steal not only the show, but potentially the entire next generation. But like I said, anything could happen. As my friend Ethan mentioned, historically, anytime Microsoft is given a layup opportunity, they turn it into a dumpster fire situation. Anyone else remember Zune Music? So we'll have to wait and see. I won't be surprised if I'm dead wrong, but I'll be very excited if it turns out I'm right. What do you think Microsoft will have to show at E3? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching my video. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to subscribe for a new video every week. Don't forget to check out our gaming podcast, HardReset, and our movies podcast, NoRefunds, the podcast that watches bad movies so you don't have to. You can find everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. Links to everything will be in the description down below. Next week could be the gorgeous Ben Reynolds episode. You'll just have to tune in to find out. Until then, just go play some games.